Well, according to a statistic from the United States Census Bureau taken a few years ago, women make only 75.5 cents for every dollar that men earn. And although that statistic is a few years old, many people still believe that wage discrimination is still a major problem in the workforce today. So here to talk about that topic is attorney, commentator for Dr. Phil, author and mom, Areva Martin. Areva, thanks for coming back to the show.
Always my pleasure, Danielle.
All right, is this statistic still true?
As unfortunate as it is, yes, women still earn less than men in many jobs across the country.
That is absolutely crazy to me, and I'll tell you why. There are so many more women now, given the economy and the recession, who are now in the workforce, who may not have been in the workforce before. There's so many more dads who are now stay-at-home dads, but it seems there just seems to be such a disparity there.
You know, what you say is absolutely correct. There are more men, choosing to stay home with their children, but women still face a glass ceiling. In many corporate jobs, women are having a hard time breaking into those jobs where they're, given access to the boardroom. Women still find themselves relegated to, the jobs that are kind of like the soft stuff. If you look at women across the country in large, corporations, many of them are not in, finance. They're not in, strategic planning. They're not in those jobs that typically lead you to, the CEO's position. They're often in human resources or other jobs that make it more difficult to earn, the high 6-7 figures that many men earn.
And so how do we account for this disparity? Because it certainly has nothing to do with intelligence.
Absolutely, nothing to do with intelligence. Sometimes it just has to do with the culture of the workplace. There's still a lot of ingrained beliefs that women, once they start, to have children, that they're going to want to take off, that they want to stay home. Many women feel like they're penalized when they do have children, and they do want to change their, hectic work schedule, and they find that it makes it more difficult for them to be given the promotion and to get the bigger jobs that their male counterparts have.
Well, it kind of also goes back a little bit to even what this show is about, the balancing act. It's about women being able to balance it all. And sometimes it's perceived that because you want a flexible schedule, that you are not on the fast track.
You're on the mommy track, and we hear that used a lot. Even today, you hear women saying they're afraid to even tell their boss that they're pregnant. They're afraid to talk about wanting to start a family because they think they're going to be labeled, as not being as capable, as not being available. And there's a culture in the workplace, and sometimes men feel like, women aren't tough enough. I work in the legal business, so I'm a lawyer. I'm a trial lawyer, and I've had my counterparts, female counterparts, say that a lot of times clients don't want to hire them because they don't think women are going to be tough enough in the courtroom.
They haven't seen us at home. Listen, they have not seen us running our households.
They know that's not true, but still those ingrained, perceptions, negative perceptions, stereotypes still permeate the workplace.
All right, so what is gender bias, and is it legal?
Gender bias is absolutely illegal. It is illegal to treat a woman differently in the workplace, to pay a different wage. Now, you can differentiate between a woman and a man because of experience, education, tenure in the workplace, but you cannot pay a woman a different salary. You cannot use different criteria to judge a woman for a promotion simply because she's a woman. And if a woman is in a job and they feel like they're being treated differently, they must stand up. They must take a stance.
All right, so now what can workplaces do to ensure that gender bias doesn't exist?
A lot of education. Education, education, education. You must educate your entire workforce about those subtle differences that often creep into the workplace. You do have a child, so maybe I make the assumption that you're not going to be available for a project that may involve traveling. I don't ask you, but I assume, because you're a woman and because you're a mom, that you're not going to want to travel. And we have to eliminate that. We want women to be given every opportunity in the workplace as a man. Now, if they choose not to take it, that's okay. But we don't want those preconceived notions to dictate how far a woman goes in a workplace.
You and I have had these conversations before about perception and reality. And so certainly if a woman feels that she is being discriminated against because of her gender, it's most of the time more than a perception. It's more than a feeling, right?
Danielle, we're pretty intuitive as women. So we know when things aren't right. We know when we're training our male counterpart and he gets the promotion and we're still left in the same job and we did the training. And we know, when we see certain kudos or certain praises given to our male counterparts. And I tell women, we've got to be comfortable talking about our accomplishments. Send an email, write a memo if you do something great in the workplace. Men do it all the time, and it's okay. They're encouraged to do it. And sometimes we feel a little timid about that. We think it's bragging. But I say it's okay to brag a little.
So let's say a woman does feel that she is being discriminated against. There is some gender bias going on. What can she do?
She can address it immediately, go to your HR director, director, go to your immediate boss, go to your boss's boss. And you want to have facts. You don't want to just talk about, touchy-feely stuff. You want to say, on this date, this occurred. This comment was made. A promotion again was given.
Would that be then, Areva, keeping tabs, keeping a log, writing everything down?
Absolutely. Documenting what's happening in the workplace. Because, another thing that women get accused of is being emotional. So I tell women, when you're going in to make this presentation to the HR director or to your boss, be objective. Have your facts, have your statistics, have your data, because you're going to be heard. You're going to be taken more seriously, when you have that information available to you.
Well, very good information for us this morning on the show. As always, it's great having you here with us.
Thank you, Danielle.
Anytime. And if you'd like more information on Areva Martin, you can simply visit her website. It's arevamartin.com.